This next terrifying clip was recorded by a man named David. He once brought home an old doll that seemed harmless at first, maybe just strange, even a little fascinating because of how aged and unsettling it looked. But not long after, he became convinced that bringing it into his house was a terrible mistake. His nights turned into a living nightmare. Shadowy figures began appearing in his room, vanishing before he could fully understand what he was seeing, and a sorrowful voice could be heard crying in the darkness, sometimes whispering names he didn't even recognize. It became so disturbing that David eventually locked the doll inside a cage and placed a Bible and a rosary on top, hoping they could contain whatever sinister presence seemed attached to it. But according to him, nothing changed. Then one night after falling asleep, he was suddenly jolted awake by a nightmare so intense it felt real. And when he opened his eyes, this is what he saw.
Tenía una pesadilla y despierto. ¿Por qué me estás jodiendo a cada rato? ¿Qué quieres? No entiendo qué es lo que... Ese, el quemado. Ese. Y no sé si escucharon lo que... No entendí muy bien. Pero... algo se escuchó. ¡Ah! Ahora sí sentí mucha adrenalina. Se desenfoca. No sé qué gana. Estoy escuchando música aquí de relajamiento. O sea, estaba durmiendo. Ya son las, ¿qué? 4:51 de la mañana. No entiendo. No entiendo. En serio, ya no sé qué hacer. Alexa, luz del cuarto blanco frío. Joder.
David says this was not just a one-time paranormal encounter. He claims that the same horrifying face appears to him almost every single night, yet the moment he turns on the light, it disappears without a trace. There are no footsteps, no sounds of anyone leaving, and nowhere in the room for something like that to hide, not even under the bed. That's what makes the question even more disturbing. Did the cursed doll bring something demonic into his life? Or did it awaken something that had been waiting for the right moment to reveal itself? You decide. In 2023, a user named Mike Runner uploaded only one video and never posted again afterward. In the description, he claimed that he had visited an abandoned elementary school, known by locals to be haunted. He also mentioned that something disturbing happened inside, and everything was caught on camera. Now, let's take a look at what actually happened in the video. From the very beginning of the footage, something already feels strange. Even though the building looks long abandoned, the electricity is still running and the lights are on. This raises a big question. Why would an empty building still have power? As he moves further down the hallway, missing person flyers can be seen scattered across the floor, making the atmosphere quickly turn unsettling. Inside one of the classrooms, children's drawings are found, showing kids standing next to a tall, elongated figure. From this point on, the situation starts to feel much more disturbing. In the silence, a long, unnatural sound echoes throughout the building. It resembles a scream, but it doesn't sound human. The figure stands out clearly against the empty surroundings and appears unnatural. Panic quickly takes over as the camera starts shaking violently. Movements become chaotic, and heavy breathing can be heard. A desperate escape begins as he exits the building through a window. The strangest part is that this video became the first and last upload on Mike Runner's account, and nothing was ever posted again after that. The following creepy video was recorded by an elderly woman who lives alone with only her dog and 2 cats. But according to her, those pets may not be the only presence inside the house. She says something in the home keeps disturbing her, something that refuses to leave her alone.
В зеркале было отражение чего-то не очень непонятного на видео. Я вам всем докажу.
According to Paulina, the night before she managed to record something deeply unsettling inside her bedroom. She says it appeared in the same area near the mirror where it often shows up. For a long time, she had been trying to capture it on camera because her family kept dismissing her claims, thinking her age was causing her to imagine things. But after seeing this footage, they were no longer so sure. Take a look.
Уходи отсюда. Я тебя не боюсь. Уходи отсюда. Уходи из моего дома. Уходи. Я тебя не боюсь. Уходи отсюда. Уходи отсюда. Я тебя не боюсь. Уходи. Уходи, я сказала. Уходи отсюда. Уходи. Я тебя не боюсь.
After Paulina realizes that what she thought she saw is suddenly gone, she notices a small ornament hanging beneath the lamp, moving on its own, but not in a natural swinging way. Instead, it begins to bend and curve upward in a bizarre manner, as if an unseen force is lifting it. The movement feels far too unnatural to be caused by a simple draft. Whatever happened that night remains unexplained, but witnessing something like that in total silence would be enough to unnerve anyone. Then on another night, Paulina starts recording again after claiming she saw the same figure hiding inside her fireplace. Take a look. Like something straight out of a nightmare, what looks like a head suddenly appears inside the fireplace. The most terrifying part is the timing. It reveals itself at the exact moment Paulina moves closer, almost as if it's aware of her presence. Already shaken, she becomes even more disturbed when she checks again and finds the fireplace completely empty. Just like before, whatever she saw disappears without a trace. Since then, Paulina hasn't shared any new paranormal footage. Whether these clips were truly supernatural or something else entirely, they remain undeniably eerie and hard to forget. The following creepy footage was captured by the home security camera of a woman named Carla. For weeks, she had been noticing the same disturbing pattern night after night. Every evening, right around 10 p.m., her dog would suddenly start barking in the exact same direction, reacting as if something was there, even though Carla herself could never see anything. At first, she tried to brush it off. Maybe it was a stray animal, a passing shadow, or something just outside the camera's view. But when it kept happening at nearly the same time every night, it stopped feeling random. Eventually, she decided to review the security footage during one of those moments, hoping to finally figure out what had been triggering her dog. As the video plays, something strange begins to come into view. At first, the shape is so unclear and its movement so unnatural that Carla initially thinks it might be a UFO or some kind of drifting light anomaly. But as it continues moving, the form becomes more defined. What first looks like a simple light slowly takes on the outline of a full human figure, a body, a face, and then suddenly disappears from sight. After she shares the footage, the reactions are immediate and unsettling. Some viewers believe she captured a demonic entity, others suggest a fallen angel, and some think it could be something even stranger. A presence mimicking human form without actually being human, which could explain its distorted appearance at first. So what exactly passed through Carla's property that night? A trick of light? A camera illusion? Or something paranormal that was never meant to be seen at all? A man known for collecting statues with strange and often tragic backstories shares something unsettling that happened inside his home. Unlike ordinary decorations, many of the items in his collection are tied to grief, memory, or personal loss. Over time, he made a habit of researching every piece he brought into his house, and the deeper he looked, the more disturbing some of those histories became. That's why many people believe certain objects can carry more than just age or artistic value. Some think they can hold something else entirely. On that particular day, he wasn't trying to provoke anything. He was simply playing a song when it happened. If you watch closely, the statue appears to move, not in a dramatic or obvious way, but just enough to make the moment feel wrong and raise a deeply uncomfortable question. Some people believe that objects connected to strong emotions, tragedy, or deep personal attachment can become vessels for lingering paranormal energy. According to that idea, the music playing may not have been random at all. It could have stirred something familiar, something tied to the object's past, something that recognized the sound like a memory it never fully let go of. Of course, it could still be a coincidence, but when an object with a dark history seems to react on its own, it becomes hard not to wonder if something in that home is still listening. So what do you think? Was it just a normal shift? Or something responding from the other side? On March 22nd, 2026, a woman named Sandy was inside a church when she witnessed something deeply disturbing. What she saw was so unsettling that everyone around her immediately began to pray. Sandy explains that she was at Our Lady of Grace Catholic Church in Greensboro, North Carolina, during a time of adoration when the priest was not in the room. She had just arrived and was lighting a votive candle when she began hearing strange and deeply unsettling sounds nearby. Sensing that something was wrong, she sat down, started recording, and began to pray. Watch closely. In the footage, a man can be heard screaming and hissing loudly while a group continues praying over him. Then, after a woman pours holy water on him, he reacts violently, almost as if something inside him is resisting. The situation quickly becomes more chaotic, and the people around him begin to fear that things are getting out of control. Alarmed, Sandy goes to find a police officer and asks them to contact the priest. At first, the officer is skeptical, but after watching the video himself, he comes back with the priest to check the situation. The officer quickly assesses the situation and stays nearby in case it becomes dangerous, while the priest calmly steps forward and begins what Sandy believes was an exorcism. Later, Sandy shares an update about what happened after that moment.
I was trying to light a novena when this began to happen, but when I saw this man in torment, I knew that I had to sit down and pray for him too. You know that they can become very violent. So this was actually going on for about 15 minutes or so. So I ended up leaving to go to the office so that they can get the priest to come, but the office was closed. At our church, there's a school that's attached, and there just so happened to be a teacher there. And I started to tell him, like, hey, how can we get a priest over here? And I was trying to tell her what's going on. And when I told her, she was like, Like, I don't think she believed me, to be honest with you. And she said, okay, you need to go down to the office and you need to tell the officer, and they'll get in contact with the priest. And I said, okay. So I ended up going into the school, and the officer was right there. And I walked up to them and I told them, I said, there's a man that needs help. He's demon possessed. At least that's what it looks like to me. And I don't think they believed me either until I showed them the footage. And that's when they were like, whoa. So back I went and continued to pray. And literally like moments later, the officer came and then the priest showed up.
As the man's growling and groaning begin to calm slightly, Sandy decides to leave. She says she avoided making eye contact with the man they believed was possessed, fearing that whatever was tormenting him might somehow follow her home. Whether the exorcism actually worked remains unknown, and that uncertainty may be the most unsettling part of all. This video was recorded by a man named Rody, who says he has gone weeks without getting a proper night's sleep. It's all because of a relentless knocking sound that starts late at night and continues for hours. It isn't random or occasional. According to him, it happens every single night with the same disturbing consistency, slowly wearing him down as he lies awake, listening to something he cannot explain. After putting up with it for more than a month, he finally decides he's had enough. So despite his fear, he steps outside his house around 3 a.m. and walks toward the exact spot where the knocking always seems to come from.
Capto fantasma en video.
No, chicos, yo voy a filmar esto porque después me dicen que es mentira. Ustedes escuchan ese ruido, ¿no? Porque... Pará, no puede ser. Quiero que vean la hora que es de la mañana. Hace un frío afuera. Quiero que vean. Ahí, de acá viene el ruido, desde hoy lo estoy escuchando. Hace un frío, boludo. Miren, acá está el asador, el pasillo. ¿Qué?
¡Ey!
¿Qué carajo, boludo? Quiero que vean. Porque posta no se dejan de escuchar esos ruidos desde mi pieza, boludo. Nah.
As he records the darkness, something suddenly peeks out near the fence line, then quickly pulls back as if it realized it had been seen. The movement is brief, but clear enough to suggest that something is definitely there. What makes the moment even more unsettling is the silence that follows, because if it had been a real person running away, you would expect footsteps or some kind of noise, but there is nothing. Then, another disturbing detail appears. A nearby swing begins moving on its own. If it were just the wind, you would expect the surrounding plants to move as well, but they remain mostly still while the swing continues to sway, as if someone had just been sitting there moments earlier. So if something really was hiding near that fence and something really was moving that swing, were those two moments somehow connected? You decide. A mother becomes increasingly worried about her young daughter, Cora, who has been experiencing intense night terrors more and more often. To understand what might be causing them, their family doctor suggests recording one of the episodes. So one night, when it happens again, she begins filming. She only intended to document what was happening, but ends up capturing something far beyond what she expected.
Typical. 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 It's okay. There's the vent right there, baby. See? The vent pushes the door. You're fine, okay? You big girl? Feel scared, just remember. Baby Lenny's here, mommy's here. We're all gonna be together in the same house. It's gonna be okay. Let's go to bed. What's wrong, Cora? Sweetie, what are you afraid of? You're scaring me, honey. I don't see anything.
As the mother walks Cora back to her room, the door suddenly starts closing on its own. She brushes it off, thinking it's just airflow, but when they reach the bedroom, Cora suddenly stops and refuses to go inside, staring fearfully toward the window. Then, without warning, the blinds slam shut by themselves. They both panic and run out of the room, but the creepiest part is noticed later. As the mother tries to calm Cora down and tells her she's a big girl, a faint whisper can be heard, as if something responds, "That's a good girl."
Big girl. It's okay. It's okay.
Later, while reviewing the footage, the mother notices another detail. The air conditioning wasn't even on at the time, meaning there was no airflow that could have caused the door to close.
So the AC was not on when the door closed. It's very loud. And you can hear it coming from the vent. The air vent could not have pushed this door closed in that other video because the air was not on, the AC was not on.
Skeptics in the comments start questioning the video, with some suggesting the blinds might be controlled remotely. So the mother uploads another clip to prove them wrong, but instead things only become even stranger.
So I'm coming into the room to show you the blinds, which I have opened back up to demonstrate how they are closed. It's not electronic, it's not battery powered, it's not creepy. Trying my best not to freak out. So, to close these blinds, you have to touch it and close it like that. That is the only way to close these blinds. There are no batteries or remotes here at all. No wires. You have to touch it and you have to close it like this. And there's no way I could have done that since I was standing on the opposite side of the room.
After everything that happened, the mother admits they are planning to leave the house as soon as possible because she no longer feels safe there. But one big question still remains. What was Cora actually experiencing? And was something really there with her? What they witnessed doesn't seem ordinary at all. So what do you think? Is this something paranormal? Or is there a logical explanation? Share your thoughts. Celia Ann is an aspiring author who usually shares updates about writing her book on social media. But every now and then, she posts something far more unsettling. She grew up in a large Victorian house, and whenever her parents leave for the night, she is left taking care of her younger siblings. On the surface, it sounds simple, but the children keep waking up from terrifying nightmares night after night until they become convinced the house is haunted. Then one night, Celia catches one of her brothers sleepwalking and decides to record him so her parents can finally see what has been happening.
It's a person. It's Walter. It's a person. It's a guy. Walter's here. He never gets Walter's not scared about cat. Walter, let's go. He's locked.
In the video, her brother can be seen sleepwalking and talking as if he is looking directly at someone named Walter. When Celia later shows the footage to her parents, they are completely confused. They have no idea who Walter is. But according to her brother, Walter is someone he sees around the house all the time. He says Walter wears a top hat and just stands there staring at him in the middle of the night. And if that wasn't already disturbing enough, just a few nights later, Celia records something even harder to explain.
Shut the doors.
Kind of show it so you can see that it sees. Oh yeah. They're shutting.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah.
Show it so nobody can everybody can see that.
Oh wow, nice job.
That's really good. Okay, can you try opening the doors? If it's too hard, we can help you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it a little push. Right.
Oh my god, this is like the most activity I've ever actually seen, because my mom was always the one that saw the activity happening.
Can you please try pushing the doors open instead of shutting them?
Wow, nice job.
That's really impressive.
Oh, is it? Oh, never mind. That's just.
Okay.
Wait.
It's shutting them. Good job. Try keeping one open. Okay.
Nice job. Okay, guys, let's go downstairs.
Okay, we're gonna head downstairs, okay?
Without anyone touching them, the doors suddenly swing shut on their own just seconds after one of Celia's siblings asks Walter to close them. Then moments later, they ask for the doors to open again, and unbelievably, they do. It's as if something inside the house is actually listening. After that, Celia begins to believe her siblings may have been telling the truth all along, that their family home might really be haunted. But according to her, Walter may not be the only presence there. Her siblings claim they have encountered multiple paranormal entities in the house and have even tried communicating with them.
Okay, if you were the lady Cecilia saw in her mirror, please turn the flashlight on. If you were the little girl singing last time, please turn the flashlight on.
It might not have been the little girl. Okay, you can turn the flashlight off now, okay? Can you please turn the flashlight off if you are also the person that I saw behind my mirror?
Oh gosh.
Okay. Or if there's a spirit here, can you please turn the flashlight on? Okay, thank you.
Then the flashlight starts turning on and off, almost as if something unseen is using it to answer the girls' questions. Shaken, they ask again to see if the first response was just a coincidence, but once again the flashlight switches on, as if something is intentionally responding. At that point, Celia becomes fully convinced that her old Victorian home is truly haunted, just as her siblings claimed. But what do you think? Is this family really dealing with something supernatural? Or is there another explanation hidden inside that house? A social media user named Billy Goof usually posted simple clips from her everyday life, casual moments, quick laughs, and harmless videos at home. But one night, without realizing it, she captured something that would soon catch the attention of the paranormal community. Billy was filming herself dancing in her kitchen, completely convinced she was alone in the house. It was meant to be a fun, playful moment. Nothing serious, nothing strange. But just before uploading the video, she noticed something in the background. And in an instant, that harmless clip turned into something deeply unsettling. Did you catch it? As Billy dances, something suddenly rushes past the hallway behind her. It moves so quickly and silently that she doesn't notice it while recording. Only later, after replaying the footage, does she finally spot the strange figure. Disturbed by what she sees, Billy asks her followers if anyone can explain what was captured on camera. Some viewers believe it looks like a spirit moving through the house, unaware that it had been seen. Others insist it could be nothing more than a glitch or visual distortion, but whatever it was, the clip leaves Billy with one terrifying thought, that maybe she was never truly alone in that house at all. In the next video, a man named Nick shares disturbing footage on his TikTok from the house where he lives with and cares for his grandmother. He explains that she suffers from Alzheimer's disease, which sometimes causes her to stand still and stare at a single point, as if she's watching something that isn't really there. But that night felt different. As she stood there in silence, something happened that Nick still cannot explain. The camera captures a strange and unsettling moment that is hard to dismiss as a coincidence. Watch closely. Suddenly, an object falls from the top of the refrigerator with no visible movement around it. It just drops on its own. At that exact moment, the dog starts growling, as if reacting to something that cannot be seen on camera. Nick said that was the moment he truly began to feel uneasy. But things get even stranger when he reveals what actually fell.
Alright. So this is in response to last night. My grandma loves to collect little figurines. One of my grandma's little angels fell off the fridge last night.
If this small figurine was placed deep on top of the refrigerator, it's hard to explain how it could have fallen on its own. Nick has no answer for it. But after watching the footage multiple times, he begins to notice something even more unsettling.
Honestly, I'm a bit in disbelief. But no, I'm pretty sure it's just a plug-in charger. I brought my girlfriend Claire here so she can help demonstrate. But can you try to step in front of that? So it just does that. Move away. So that comment says that the Roomba doesn't do that unless someone's in front of it. My question is, like, why was he doing it last night? It is kind of creepy with a smiley face and everything.
While rewatching the footage, Nick notices another strange detail. The Roomba starts moving back and forth as if something invisible is blocking its path. There is nothing visible in the frame, yet its behavior seems unusual and sudden. Nick has no clear explanation and only suggests that the device may have reacted to something in the room. And one night, while he was watching TV alone, something even more disturbing happened.
So, I was watching my show, and after last night, I'm definitely not leaving these lights on. But I was watching my show, and there's nothing there.
At that moment, the robot is nowhere to be seen, making the dog's behavior difficult to explain. Both dogs suddenly freeze and stare intensely at a single point. According to Nick, there is nothing there, but the fact that they are looking directly toward the kitchen makes the situation even more unsettling. He also recalls that his grandfather, who passed away last year, once claimed he saw Nick's grandmother standing in the kitchen at night in complete darkness, yet it was later confirmed that no one had actually been there. That's not the only reason Nick feels uneasy about that part of the house. Later that same night, after recording the previous video, another incident happens. After moving the dogs into another room, he starts recording again, this time because the sound of the ice maker suddenly made him uneasy. But during the recording, something else happens. Watch closely.
Whoa. Yo. Oh, that's cool.
Suddenly, the Roomba that had been calmly moving across the living room flips over. There are no obstacles in its path, yet it appears to rotate nearly 180 degrees on its own, as if something unseen interfered with it. Frightened, Nick stops recording and uploads the video online. Viewers then begin to notice details he missed. The vacuum was moving in an unusually straight pattern, which is not typical for that model. And it didn't stop at the edge of the stairs like it always had before. If the earlier incidents could be dismissed as coincidence, this moment completely unsettled Nick. Since then, nothing unusual has happened, but no clear explanation has ever been found. What do you think? Share your thoughts.
Hola?
A woman was calmly walking down a quiet street at night when she suddenly heard strange sounds. After looking for the source, she realized the noises were coming from a well.
¿Escucharon? ¿Escucharon eso? ¿Qué? Se oye allá abajo. Hola?
When she looked inside, she saw something impossible to explain. In the well, there was a dark silhouette shaped like a human, but it was clearly not a person. As she watched it, the creature seemed to realize it was being observed and let out a strange, terrifying sound. A woman named Deja and her sister had just boarded a flight to Chicago. They found their seats, put away their bags, and settled in like it was any normal trip. Sitting directly behind them was a man who seemed completely ordinary at first glance. Nothing unusual or memorable about him. But later, once the plane was already in the air, Deja started filming a few playful videos to pass the time. When she watched the footage back, she noticed something in the background that instantly filled her with dread. For just a brief moment, the camera captures the man sitting behind them through the gap between the seats, and he looks nothing like he did before. His face appears distorted and unnatural, almost withered, so different that it barely looks human. Deja says that earlier in the flight, he looked like an ordinary Caucasian passenger, yet in the video, his features appear darker, sunken, and completely altered in a way that's hard to explain. Whether it was a camera glitch, a lighting trick, or something far more unsettling, the footage leaves behind a deeply disturbing question. What exactly did her phone capture at 30,000 feet? After seeing that, even Deja admits she's not too eager to fly again anytime soon. A woman named Sydney shares a story about a terrifying experience she once went through. That weekend, she had rented a large and beautiful house for a wedding. But her dog started acting very strangely. It refused to go upstairs. No matter how hard Sydney tried, the dog would stop halfway up the stairs as if it couldn't move. Later, she decided to check the stairs and even looked under the carpet to see if anything could explain the behavior, but there was nothing there. That's when she began to suspect that the issue wasn't the carpet, but something beneath the stairs. There was a locked basement right below them. After hesitating for a moment, Sydney finally decided to check it. She turned on the light and slid her phone under the door to record what was inside, and this is what she captured. The door handle suddenly starts moving on its own as if someone is trying to turn it from the inside. Later that night, Sydney notices a curtain moving on the second floor, so she goes upstairs to check. She finds that the window is open and decides to close it. But at that exact moment, something unexplained happens again. Look closely. Something invisible begins to move the dog's leash while the dog freezes once again at the same spot on the stairs. Despite feeling scared, Sydney's curiosity pushes her to try again. She slides her phone under the door once more, hoping to finally capture something this time. Suddenly, something snatches the phone from her and drags it all the way down the basement stairs. Then, as if defying all logic, the phone begins to rise on its own. The next day, her sister and the homeowner came to retrieve the phone and inspect the house. They wanted to make sure that no one else was inside. In San Diego, there is an old hotel called Hotel del Coronado that has been standing since 1888 and is widely known as one of the most haunted places in the United States. Over the years, many guests and staff have reported strange events such as flickering lights, electronics turning on by themselves, and objects falling without any clear reason. Because of this, Josh and Crystal decided to carry out their own nighttime investigation there. During the recording, they noticed something moving inside one of the side rooms and quickly pointed the camera in that direction. Even though the movement itself was not captured, the camera ended up recording something that felt far more disturbing.
It's okay. I can see you. Come to me. Are you a little boy? It's okay. Come here. It's okay. I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but it looks like it's going like back and forth. Is it moving? Is it moving? It's okay.
No.
It's
Come
okay.
back. Come back.
Where?
No, you come back. Go straight. Look straight towards me. No. Turn towards me like you were earlier. Put your back towards me. Like you were earlier. Put your back towards me.
As Crystal tries to communicate with what she believes is the spirit of a young boy connected to the room, the camera records something unusual. For a brief moment, a dark shadow resembling a small child appears behind her, quickly moving across the space before disappearing. So did they actually capture real evidence of something supernatural inside Hotel del Coronado? Or was it just a coincidence in your opinion? This eerie footage was recorded inside Willard Library, a place known not only for its books, but for the unsettling paranormal reputation it has carried for decades. The building is said to be haunted by a spirit known as the Gray Lady, an apparition that staff and visitors claim to have encountered for years. People have reported seeing a woman in gray drifting silently between the shelves, hearing footsteps echo through empty hallways, and even watching objects move when no one else is around. Some employees say certain areas of the library feel unusually heavy, as if something is already watching you the moment you step inside. On that particular day, as a librarian was closing up, she suddenly heard a strange sound coming from nearby. Listen closely.
I can hear you back there. Why don't you show yourself to me? I know this is your home, and I mean you no disrespect. I'm just curious about you, like why you're here and who you are. My name's Missy. I'd love to know more about you.
After the footage was shared, others began coming forward with chilling experiences of their own. One man said he had been inside Willard Library for less than 10 minutes, only there to print a document, when he suddenly felt as if someone was standing right beside him. The reaction was immediate. A rush of fear, chills running through his body. And when he turned to look, there was no one there. What made it even more disturbing was a nearby staff member's response. Seeing his panic, she calmly said, "Yeah, that happens all the time." He left immediately and never returned. Stories like this are why many believe whatever haunts the library is not just residual energy, but something aware, something that chooses when to reveal itself. Some think the Gray Lady still wanders those halls, bound to the building for reasons no one fully understands. Others believe the paranormal energy there has built up over time, turning the library into a place where the unseen does not always stay hidden.